Welcome to Wild West Garage. My name's Morgan, and that is a 1956 Mercury. No, wait a minute. Yeah, Mercury Meteor Rideau Club Sedan. Got a lot of names. So, anyways, it's a very nice car, and this car has belonged to the. Well, it's been in the current owner's family pretty much all its life. I'm not sure if they bought it new or it was a couple of years old when they got it. So, and the current owner, I think he took possession of this car when he was 16, and I believe he's 76 years old now. So he's had this car for a long time. It's not it's not a restoration, but it's been very well looked after. It's been painted. It's had some chrome work done on it. I believe the engine's been rebuilt. Nut and bolt restoration. It's been looked after. I think they had a headliner put in it. So, anyways, I did a bunch of front end work on this. I replaced the upper and lower control arm bushings. I'm not going to show you that, but I am going to show you some rust repair that I did on it. And so it's just something that you could do on your car if you weren't going to do like a frame off type restoration, just to tidy things up a bit, solidify things a bit. And actually I wasn't even going to do this repair, and I'll show you. There's 4 body mounts or body braces on this car that were rusted out. I guess they're still rusted out. They're not there anymore, but I only repaired 3 of them. I probably should have done the 4th, but the owner didn't want to do it. He doesn't drive this car much. He might take it out once or twice a season. So it just sits in the garage, so it's not going to crumble into the ground anytime soon. So anyways, let's take a look at what I did. So that's what I was left with after I knocked all the rusty crap out of the way. So I'm not going to clean that hole up at all. It's, I mean, I could, but that's all pretty solid metal there now. I'm going to make a piece that covers that. I'm not really going too crazy on this, because really to fix it properly I have to take the carpet out, and the owner doesn't want to do that. So I'm just going to patch this thing up and make it strong again. First piece. There's the first piece tacked in, and I don't want to get any closer to the floorboard than that, because I don't want to put any heat in the carpet and potentially burn this car down. So now I've got to make the brace. So there's the patch piece, the brace. This is all 18 gauge satin coat that I'm using on this, just to hold off the rust. It'll act as a, what do you call that? Don't know. I'll think about it in a minute here. Like a zinc. It's zinc plated. There's a very thin layer of zinc on this. It's not galvanized per se. It's a different kind of a different process. It's just I'm not sure how they do this, but anyways, it does resist rusting quite a bit better than just, you know, naked steel, right? So there we go. That was about an hour and a half's worth of work. It's not beautiful, but it's restored the integrity to that area of the car again. Of course, it would be better if I could weld it onto the floor pan, but I'm not going to take a chance on that unless I take the carpet out, which isn't happening. So, I mean, once I clean this up a bit and spray on some undercoating to match the rest of the car, it'd be pretty tough to detect what I've done here. So, and I'll show you that when it's all done. So here's the other side, and I made a cut here with the zip disc. Cut up through here, just kind of sliced up through the mount here, Then I just knocked the rest of it out with look at the other side. So right here, I just made a zip disc cut, and then I was able to cut up into here a bit, but I was afraid I was going to be a little short here, so I left this kind of ragged edge. This is solid metal. I'd gone through here with an air chisel first, and it wasn't really working out, so I got the zip disc in here afterward. And all of this stuff I just cleaned out with an air chisel. Came out there, you know, pretty clean. I only busted through the one right there. See the metal I want to save, but that's going to be covered, so that's okay. Of course, I did not want to put a hole in the floor pan, but it does look like there's a bit of a hole here forming in the floor pan. I think that's actually yeah, that's underlay right there. So I'm gonna make this piece, unlike the other side, I cut it kind of short here. It only came to here, but on this one I'll come right out to here where the original one is, because the other side didn't have this issue. So to develop this part, I just made this one template, and I just held it up against the original piece on the car and kind of traced it out on the back side. And then I also made this piece here, and on the original piece on the car I just folded this over it so I could get that dimension. And then I just laid it out on my metal accordingly, right? So I made two of these, or I just put it on the metal like that. Measured this distance here, and then flipped this over for the other side, and then I allowed for the flanges. I mean, I could have made this whole thing out of cardboard, but why do that when you know, you can just lay it out with that simple template there in this dimension here. And then this is the second one, so I used the original one. Once I had it cut out, I just traced around it, and then it was really quick to make this one. So this side is a bit more of a mess. So I thought I could get away with it, but I can't. So this is what I've ended up with on this side. So to get that piece to slide underneath between the mount and the brace, I took a reciprocating saw and I just sliced out part of that bushing. I tried to undo this, and then short of pulling the carpet up, which the customer didn't want to do, that's how I had to deal with it. So then again, once I get this all cleaned up, it'll look good. You'd have to be pretty, once I'm done with it, you have to be pretty sharp to discover what I've done here. So anyway, stay tuned for that. So there we go. I think you'd have to be pretty savvy about cars to notice this. You know, once this gets driven a bit and starts to match the rest of the undercarriage. I think not too many people are going to notice this repair. I'll show you the other side. There it is. Just good and solid now. So he didn't want to do that one, so I just blew all the junk out of it and threw some black on it. And here's the rear one. That one's a little more obvious, but you know, at least it's solid. So there you go. You know, if you've got a car sitting in your garage and you've got this grand idea that you're gonna get it restored one day, or you're going to restore it one day, or whatever. You've got these plans for like a nut and bolt restoration. Unless you got a lot of money, unless you got like 60, 70, 80 grand to spend on your car, to have somebody else do it, or you have the ability to do it, you have the tools to do it, you have the time to do it, and you're still going to have a bucket full of money to do it. For most people, that's just not a reality. And to be quite honest with you, brutally honest, a lot of people are just dreamers. I'm one of those people. I've got multiple project cars in my yard that I never seem to get to. So when I do get to them, they're not going to be nut and bolt restorations. They're going to be I'm just going to fix them up. I'm going to address things that need to be addressed. I'm going to take some kind of shortcuts like I did here, because I just can't afford the time or the money to do a full-on restoration on anything. And to be quite honest with you, I don't have the patience for it anymore. You know, I did that. I did my '57 Chevy 40 years ago. I've done other cars since then, not necessarily full-on restorations, but I've done some pretty tidy work on different things. But I think what people really need to focus on if they want to enjoy their cars is just to kind of swallow their pride, and you know, you got to make sure it's safe, that the frame's not all rotted out, and maybe if the frame's all rotted out, you should reconsider working on it maybe. So frame, it's got to be solid. You got to have good steering, you got to have good brakes, and then go from there. You know, if the thing if you can drive the thing safely, then that's a good start. And then maybe work on the engine, get the engine working better, and then worry about the cosmetic stuff. So just get out there and tinker, and you know, doesn't have to be perfect. You know, perfect takes a long time, and perfect for people that are working every day, and then just working on stuff on the weekends. You know, I can imagine, like, I've got over 100 hours in this cab, and that's, you know, not what I expected when we brought it home, but it's just the way it is. So spread 100 hours out over a bunch of Saturdays and see how long that takes you. That's probably 100 divided by 8. So if it was 80 divided by 8, that's 10 weekends. So 12 weekends. So that's over the course of 3 months just to do what I did on this cab. So anyway, something to think about. I'm kind of over the shiny car thing for myself. There's just a lot of work to keep them looking good. And if you've seen my Chevy, that's the way it's going to stay. And you know, that's the way this Ford's going to be. It's not going to be a shiny truck. It's going to be a work truck. It's going to go in the bush. It's going to get firewood thrown at it, and stuff laid down on the hood and the tailgate and all that. It's just going to get used. Dirty logger's going to get in it with his sawdust all over him. So it's not going to be a show truck by any means. This is kind of a show car. It's pretty shiny, but you know, there again, it's not a nut and bolt restoration either. It's got undercoating on the bottom of it, and shiny paint on the top, just like pretty much every car that's rolling down the road. And thanks for watching. And if you listen to my rant, thanks. See you next time.